They don't want what we know out there.
How a person can go from really almost nothing to becoming a millionaire by owning rental properties.
He would always buy these flip houses, and I just remember thinking, this guy is crazy. Why would he buy that house?
In the past decade, there's been a huge surge in the peer-to-peer short-term rental market.
Become an insider. So you have to know the rules before you get the game.
Every second counts. So make every second count.
Welcome to the Real Estate Jam. Whether you're just beginning or the best of the best, we're glad you're here. We will share successes, failures, and strategies for the action-taking real estate investor. And now to your hosts, JD and Melissa.
Hey guys, welcome to the Real Estate Jam podcast. I'm JD with my wonderful co-host.
Hey, Melissa, how are you, JD?
I'm doing all right, Melissa.
Super excited about our guest today.
I am. This is the man that makes all the magic happen for us and a lot of other.
We should be playing Magic Man by heart in the background.
That's right. I wonder if we know a guy who can help us get that.
Yeah, do that, Levi.
So today we're talking to Levi Tadena. He is the owner, founder of Pod2Go. Now, this is a service that we use. This is how we produce our podcast, get it syndicated out to all the different areas. Levi does a couple other things for us, repurposing content into our blog posts and everything like that. The reason we think it's valuable for you guys to talk to Levi or to hear us talk to Levi today is because in today's real estate investor and agent market, becoming an expert and being known in the space is so important. And Levi has, for quite a while now, been the guy that pushes a lot of our content out there. And we're hoping to share them with you guys. And we'll go into some of the details on that. If you're interested in starting a podcast or looking for somebody to write content for your blogs and that kind of stuff, I'm sure he'll give you his details later on. Levi, thank you so much for being here, man. We really appreciate you.
We've been trying to get you on for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm really glad to finally be on the show. You know, after working with you for I think it's been 2 years now. Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, really happy to be here.
And part of the reason that it's so difficult is because Levi's on the other side of the world. It's like 2:05 a.m. For him right now. And well, he's a little sleepy, but we're going to get going. Levi, can you please give a little bit of an introduction, let people know kind of what you're doing, and then we'll talk about some of the processes for the podcast and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so as you mentioned, I bring magic to the show. Not only you guys, but other people I work with. But I always try to tell people that I help content creators or like you guys podcasters to have fun doing what you guys do best. So if you guys are trying to connect with your people, I want to try to help you guys to just keep doing that and none of the other fuss, you know. So for example, we're talking about podcasting. This is what you guys are doing. Just record. This is what JD and Melissa is going to do. Of course, they find people to talk to, find guests, but once the recording is done, that's it. You just hand it over to us, and then that's pretty much good. And
yeah, you make it super easy for us for sure, and it always comes out. We're super happy with how it comes out every time.
Yeah, in a lot of our meetups, one of the big things, you know, everybody wants to start a podcast, and everybody thinks their opinion's valuable, and a lot of them are concerned about how to get started, and that was a concern for me for a while too. I knew that we wanted to share some of the things that we were learning in these high-level masterminds. Some of the networking connections that we have a lot of value that could help a lot of people, and we wanted to be able to get that out there. But I was so kind of overwhelmed with trying to learn how to do the podcast editing, figuring out all that kind of stuff, learning how to post it and how to push it out to the audience that it was made for. That kind of held me back for a little bit. But once we got involved with you, all we have to do is show up. Well, like you said, schedule a guest, show up, have these awesome conversations with some of the best real estate investors in the world, and then drop that into a file, send it over to Levi and his team, and they're able to get it produced and edited, everything looking pretty, and send it out for everyone in the world to see. So he's kind of an unsung hero in our business, and especially in the podcast. But Levi, you have something like 10,000 plus hours of podcasts that you've created and or edited and put together. So with that, you have to have some systems and stuff. What is, if you can talk about, after I send the podcast to you, what happens and how do you make it work?
Right. So you guys send the stuff to me on like a Google form, right? So that's how we try to keep it simple. I have like a system on the back end that automates things, like filters out the answers in the files that you put down there, and it goes into a task management app or service. It's called Trello. I'm not sure you guys use it, and it creates like a specific card, and the team can already see it. Like, oh, JD and Melissa has a new episode. Let's work on this, and I just try to watch from there like an eagle. Like, oh, is everybody doing their stuff already? And that's how it pretty much goes. And once it's done, I actually am the one that I still do a little bit of QC on there, like quality control. Listen to the episode, see like everything's all set, and then that's from there I send you guys the email. Like that's what you guys receive. Like, hey, edits are done. You can look at them here.
Right. And for us, you don't just do the podcast, you do the uploading it to YouTube, taking the file, putting it on YouTube, adding in the intro and the outro. You create the artwork for the Facebook posts. You do all of that stuff too, which makes it super simple. Now, one of the questions, because you've listened to pretty much every single podcast that we have put out there, so I'm wondering why you haven't started investing in real estate yet.
Well, right now, I heard this on like a podcast a little bit earlier. The way I use your resources is two things. Either one is to survive, and second is to thrive. So I like the wordplay there. Right now, when I say survive, I'm not like I'm hungry every day, but right now I'm building towards that. And whenever I listen to you guys' show, and like, oh man, I can't wait to get there. And I bet JD and Melissa will be proud of me once I get started. Yeah. I actually just moved, and I was looking to get started, but maybe just a little bit more thinking. Maybe some of the listeners here, try to work with me. Maybe we can get there next year, next 2 years.
Okay, but you know that other one, the analysis paralysis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you just hold off, it'll never happen.
If you're going to use that thrive, survive, you got to use that one too.
So yeah, for sure. I'll keep it in mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Levi, one of the other things that you do for us is break down our podcast into different blog posts and such. Can you talk about that a little bit and how that service works and really how you would work that service for other people, and explain maybe the benefit of cutting up your content and pushing it to the different platforms?
Right. Yeah. So that's really great for podcasters because so you got the podcast, right? So there's an audio format, and you put it out on like iTunes, Google, Spotify, all those places. You got a video too. You guys got video too. Put it on YouTube, so that extends the reach, right? And this one, if you want more presence on the internet, on social media, that's how you can leverage that's another avenue for you to leverage your podcast. Just make an article from the episode. Sometimes we'll make multiple articles from the episode. Like usually on these episodes from Real Estate Jam, we touch on a number of topics, and I feel like, oh, there's a lot of nuggets of wisdom here. We can turn them into like content on their own, put it out on the websites, and people can read them.
Right. And one of the things that helps with once we get them uploaded to the website is all of your SEO and stuff, because the real estate terms that you're speaking on the podcast then get put in print form and pushed to all over the internet, so that people searching for the terms that you're discussing will find your content. This works for real estate investors, real estate agents. We've seen it. And a matter of fact, one of the masterminds that we just attended last week, the guys there started their own radio show specifically targeting homeowners and solutions for homeowners. So their radio show isn't about real estate investing. It's about solving these problems: bad tenants, bad storm damage, insurance claims, all the kinds of stuff that a homeowner would be searching for if they go through one of these significant events that makes for a good seller for us on the investment side. They're targeting those people with those kind of problems, and then also providing their services there. But if they take that show and they create a website and push those notes on, how to handle it, file an insurance claim, all of those kind of things, and push it into the written format, they're going to be able to reach those people that are looking to find solutions to their housing problem on multiple different ways. And it's kind of an evergreen thing, right? We're not really doing a lot of time specific or news or updates. We're doing things that will be out there on the internet forever. So even if you get one lead a year off of that stuff that's already done, it's continually growing and continually pulling people into your circle of awareness. And I think that's huge. One of the big benefits and why we have you pulling our podcast into blogs and all of that kind of stuff. Levi, obviously you are the podcast expert, but do you have, for somebody that was looking to start a podcast, what do you think those steps are for them if they wanted to start a podcast, whatever the category is? But, do you need the $1,000 microphone? Do you need, $100 cameras? What are their steps to get started if they wanted to?
All right. So for starters, let's talk about equipment. So you can start with whatever you have. You can just use your phone, actually. Just record the sound from there, your voice from there. So it's good. You can plug it in the computer and just get the audio. You're good. I would recommend the cheapest and best way, maybe if you're using Apple, not the AirPods, like the wired ones. If you guys still have that, the ones with the mic in the middle, those sound pretty decent. You guys can start from there. And then I think what podcasters, like what Melissa mentioned earlier, the analysis paralysis, like, oh, do I need this equipment? Like, you can just start with whatever you have and then work your way up towards like better equipment, whatever you feel like you need to improve on your show. You can work on it when you're already there and not like overthink things through.
Yeah. So, I think that's great. So you started. So you just start producing your content, whatever it is, and whatever format it is, and then what's the next step after that? After you started producing your content, now you go into editing. And one of the things that I should mention is you can do everything by yourself, right? If you wanted to record the podcasts, edit the podcast, put everything in, upload it yourself, you can do all of that yourself. But what we found was that the time, because one, I'm not good with that kind of stuff, but the time that it takes to do that, I could be better used, going on appointments, finding leads, managing our team. And so we decided to outsource that from the very beginning. And I know each thing is different, but Levi, if we were going to talk about like what the pricing is, like on a per episode or a per month basis, for somebody who is looking to have their podcast produced and managed by you and your team, what are we looking at as far as price range?
All right. Yeah. So it's the baseline I would call It's like $55 per episode, and that's really cheap. You know, some people just charge hundreds of dollars just per episode. And that, yeah, we do offer 55, and then we can work up from there. Based on what you need. You need to add, like, you know, video editing. You need to add, like, you know, blog posts. So we can work from there. We can tailor fit based on your needs. I always like to, some people need this, some people need that. So some people need, one of the clients I work with, they want me to put the finished podcast, the files, on their own Google Drive. So, all right, I got you. I'll put it there for you. So it depends on what you need. But yeah, 55, that's the starting price.
Okay, awesome. And when somebody starts pushing that out, do you have any recommendations? Like, have you started with brand new clients before that didn't have a podcast and then you took over, or are all your clients already established podcasters and then you're working with them?
Oh yeah, it's a mix of both. I think half of the people I work with started with us, although some people are already helping them out start. But if you, I think I missed this earlier, but if you're planning to start your own podcast, you do need to select like a podcasting platform. With you guys, it's Libsyn. There are countless options out there. You have to do your research based on what those platforms will provide. But I pretty much have helped people from that point. Like, there's no podcast yet, and then there's a podcasting platform. You know, how do I get it out to iTunes? How do I put it on Google? I really can't do it myself because it's gonna deal with accounts, but I can help you, help anyone along the way to get there. But the other side, yeah, I have worked with other people that already have established podcasts.
Yeah, awesome. So you could help somebody who is brand new, just starting, or somebody who is already established. Now, one of the questions, and I don't know, when it comes to monetizing the podcast and that kind of stuff, are you familiar with the ways that podcasts are getting monetized today?
Today, there are various ways. Although I will be honest that the clients I'm working with right now, they don't have like the sponsored podcast, you know, from like what you may hear from like big big brands sponsoring podcasts. None of them. But the other ways would be some podcasting platforms like Anchor. They allow ads to be played onto your show. But I do think that as far as generating revenue is concerned, I think with most of the people I work with, it's just with the results of the show, like establishing authority, people like, you know, listening to you because, oh, they got this podcast, I'm learning a lot from them, I'll stick with them. If they have a course, I'll apply for their course, I'm learning a lot from the course. That's how I think podcasts, even if you don't have the raw ads on your show, I think that's one of the great ways for you to earn or like generate revenue from the podcast.
Absolutely. The leads that come in either through coaching or for agents, attracting other agents, all of that kind of stuff helps pay for it. But you'll listen to a lot of even some of the best podcasts in the world don't have sponsors, right? They're doing it to provide value. And if you don't start recording and getting it pushed out there, you're not helping anybody out. So we're super appreciative of you, Levi, for taking the time to come on today. If any of our listeners were interested in starting a podcast or they wanted to find out more about your services, I think you'll schedule a call with them and that kind of stuff. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So to reach out to us, it's right now, there's only one single way to get in touch with us. It's this via email. It's pod2go.app@gmail.com. Reason for that is the company right now, I'm trying to rebuild it, change the name and stuff. So there's no website for it just yet. So right now, that's the only way to get in touch with us. And you just tell them that JD and Melissa sent you. Maybe I'll give them a discount. Next invoice.
Awesome.
And that's pod with a number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pod number 2, go.app. Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, Levi, we really appreciate you, and I'm sure you're going to make sure that gets linked in the show notes for us.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks
Awesome.
for all your hard work, and we can't recommend you enough to everybody.
Absolutely.
You're awesome.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much as well. It's been a pleasure working with you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Levi.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Jam. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information, check out our website, therealestatejam.com, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Real Estate Jam. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at therealestatejam@gmail.com. See you next episode.